As some of you may know, I'm a bit of a nerd for the mountain bike eliminator racing. I just love it, and for those of you who are unaware of it, it is basically four riders start, top two go through, bottom two get out. That that's it in a nutshell. It's like 2 minutes of racing per race per heat. Um, and for once, there was actually a British rider in Oli Akers, and for very obvious reasons, I had to chat to him. Um, I yeah, just the fact that there's any Brit means I'm immediately interested in my interest was piqued. So today we are in the wheels of Oli Akers. Enjoy. Hello and welcome to another episode. That actually won't be part of this, so ignore that. Hi, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Um, I guess the easy way to start into this is like, how did you get into cycling? Because everyone's journey is so fascinating. So what's your journey?
Yeah, mine's quite standard, really. From a young age, about 4 year old, I got pushed off on a bike without stabilizers, and my dad was into cycling, my mum was into running and all sorts of sports. Um, and just from there, it just kind of blossomed, and I went through clubs and eventually got into proper teams and so on, and it just yeah. And now here I am today talking about city mountain bike with you.
Yeah, awesome. And well, you've mentioned city mountain bikes, so let's jump right into that. Mountain bike eliminator, like, how did you find it? In terms of like, how did you even know that an event was going on? Yeah, let's start with that actually.
Well, the reason I did this one is because I've got a training camp coming up in Austria, and I'm traveling now, and it coincided quite well. So I thought, oh, I'll
Hmm.
do that for a bit of fun on the way there, and yeah, it was so good that I'm gonna do more definitely.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, absolutely. It was. I mean, I didn't have a great result. I ended up being in a heat with a guy who got second, and I think the other guy got fifth, maybe. I'm not sure. Anyway,
Yeah, I'd have to look that up. Um,
yeah, yeah,
but yeah, like your heat was so just for
pretty
those who
tough.
don't know,
Yeah,
yeah, like everyone does a time trial to get seeded and also to eliminate people if there's more than uh like for men it's
32.
32, yeah. I think women's fields have had a 32 round before at the Worlds, but it's very rare. But for men it's quite common that they have to slim it down to 32. And then it's heats of four, and it goes according to your placement within that time trial. So you were with Edvin Lind, who did get second in the end, Felix Klausmann, who's done a lot, and then Alke Toynink, I want to say, a Belgian guy who
Yep.
I've not really heard of before, and then obviously yourself. Um, and then yeah, it's a race for top two. Top two get
Yeah.
through, bottom two are out. And obviously, were you third or fourth in your heat?
I was third. I mean, I could have easily sat up, but I
Yeah,
thought I might as well try and get back to him, and I got pretty close because just before the big stair set, we had a bit of a bottleneck coming together.
Hmm.
And the Belgian lad, like you said, he came off, and I had to stop. And the front two, they just yeah rode away. But
Yeah,
I started to catch them up a bit. I think they were just soft tapping, just because they thought they'd got it in the bag. But no, it was tough. It was really tough.
yeah, definitely sounds it. And that course was quite spectacular. I don't think they've used that course for Paris before. Um,
No, no, they haven't.
Speaking of firsts as well, like from what we can tell, you're the first British male to take part in a XCE event. I think there's Megan Sunderland, I want to say. Hopefully, I've got her name right. She did Barcelona last year. I think she didn't make it through the time trial. She got knocked out at that stage. So you're the first British male to do the race and the first to get through to actual racing, rather than time trialing. So Yeah, but you say you're going to do more. Which ones are you earmarking? I know Barcelona's this weekend as we speak, but by the time this comes out, it will already have happened. Um, I know there's some others. The World Championships are in Ireland this year, which is a very interesting course. Um,
Yeah,
and
yeah. Well, I'm hopefully going to be doing Arlen. Fingers crossed.
yeah,
And I'd love to do all of them, honestly. But it's not that it's not worth it. It's just the fact that going to each and every one of them, it's just a hell of a lot of money. Um, and if I had the money to spend on it, I would. But
mm,
I just can't make it to all of them, unfortunately.
yeah, of
But
course.
we're gonna try and do Ireland because obviously it's the world champs. It's a big deal, isn't it?
Hmm.
Um, and then I think we're gonna do Girona as well, because
Oh,
that
okay.
that coincides. I know it's not a World Cup, but it coincides nicely with the Girona World Series gravel the day after. So I'll
Mm.
do the XC the day before, and then the gravel the day after.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I think that's the Continental Challenge Cup or something. I can't remember what that series is called, but it's like they're developing that series.
Yeah,
They've got a couple of rounds of that as well going on. Um, and you've mentioned gravel. I was going to ask you about like things like Battle on the Beach. Firstly, what was that like, and also like how much of your focus is going on to each different discipline of cycling? Because you've done a bit of road, you've done cross, you've done mountain bike, you do gravel. Like, there's a lot of different things to be aware of.
yeah. There's a lot going on, but really. In the summer months, I'm just trying to get ready for the cross. I've got this training camp this weekend. I'm going to
Hmm.
enjoy that definitely. And after that, it's just honestly, it's just preparation for cross already. Um,
Gosh.
I know how early it is. But at start of last cross season, I was in a great place. And I just didn't really have the endurance to get up there. And I finished the season off with some great results, but not where I wanted to be really. So this year I'm going to give it my all, and through the summer months I'll just be training through races, and if I do well, great. If not, then it's preparation for crossing. It's good practice. But for races specifically, I want to qualify for gravel world champs. That's a big goal. Um, and to do that, I've got to be in the top 25% of a gravel World Series race, which
Hmm.
hopefully I'll do. Um, so that's goal number two after cyclocross, and then after that it's to just do well in mountain bikes, not get any specific results, but just enjoy riding my bike. And I definitely did that this weekend. It was really good the race.
Yeah. I guess that is a kind of question that I had. Like, what do you feel success is? Is it just that racing for enjoyment rather than targeting set results?
Yeah, I think in the past, obviously I started out and I progressed quite early, and with that came some really good results.
Hmm.
Um, and I tended to enjoy the winning and not so much the racing, but I think I've gone back to just enjoying riding my bike now.
Hmm.
Because when I was maybe under 16, I'd go and win on a weekend, and then I'd be motivated to train the week after. But now
Yeah.
that I'm not doing that, I do have to just enjoy riding my bike, and I'm definitely doing that at the moment. Whether it's racing, I mean, in the moment when you're suffering and the lactic acid's building up, it's not the best. But afterwards, I can look back on the race this weekend and really think that yeah, it was good, and the crowd was amazing, and it just
Hmm.
yeah, it spurs you on. It's good, it's really good.
Yeah. And did you find it easy to adjust to that? Going from that, oh, I have to win to just taking it as it comes.
Um, no, not at all. I don't think anyone can adjust to that straight away.
Hmm.
Because obviously I moved up a category, and it's like you're racing against people 3 or 4 years older than you instead of just a year older than you. And yeah, it takes some getting used to. Not that I'm complaining, like I've still got some
Mm.
great results, but yeah, it took a while to adjust. And I guess I'm not completely there now, but it's yeah, it's getting a lot better, and I am, like I say, enjoying just riding and training.
Yeah, and you said like cross is such a big focus for you. Like, where does your kind of love for cross come? Because, like, again, like everyone's slightly different. For me, it was just something to watch in the winter months, and I've said this story a few times, so um, forgive me for repeating myself. But like, a lot of it was just me trying to find like dodgy streams on the internet so I could watch like Sporza's coverage whilst being in the UK, and like, if you didn't catch it at the right time, you missed all of it, and that was it. Like, tough luck. Um, what was it for you that really developed that love?
I think because it's so accessible. I like I said, I started cross. That was one of the first things I did on a
Mm,
little aisle bike, mountain bike, and I'm not sure. I think the crowd because it's quite compact. It's not like a road race where you're doing, I don't know, 100 miles and there's
mm.
not many people watching it on the sidelines. With cross, there'll be tens of thousands of people, especially at World Champs. It was just packed, and it was like doing the city mountain bike race. Just yeah, it spurs you on, and it doesn't feel like you're pushing when you've got a crowd behind you. Even if they're not
Mm.
behind you, they might be cheering for someone else, but just the noise. Um, yeah, it just I don't know. It kind of separates the pain and the enjoyment, and the enjoyment definitely it wins over the pain.
Yeah, and actually, as you say it, like road races are like we're going to Sickley Classic at the weekend, and it's like, where do you have to pick a spot to go to and hope you can get there because the roads will be closed for access. Like, so you have to try and plan ahead, and you'll see riders for a bit, and then they're gone. Whereas, as you say, like cross and mountain bike, when it's on a circuit, they keep coming around. It's like great. You can either pick a spot or you see clips of like people starting in one place and then the riders go past and they like pelt it down a hill trying to get to the next spot. Um, and yeah, that is hugely exciting. What kind of courses favour you then in terms of cross? Like, are you a punchy rider who likes things like Koppenberg and Zonhover, or yeah, what's an ideal course for you, and what type of rider are you?
Koppenberg's my favourite course. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. The climb suits me down to the bone. It's just the right length. It's technical, um, and then the rest of the course, it's like city mountain bike going down a hill. And there's short sprints every so often. Um, I mean, sometimes it can get proper muddy, and the laps can be like 10 minutes long. And that's a bit of a slog. But on a normal day, like back in 2019, um, yeah, it's just the perfect race for me, and it doesn't feel like you've got to try and you've got to be in the red all the time. I mean, obviously you are,
Mm,
but when you enjoy a course like that, it's not hard to just do it, if you know what I mean. It just goes by in a flash. And yeah, well, the past three times I've done it, I've been on the podium every time. So yeah, it shows.
yeah, I mean that's a great record to have, and obviously it's a kind of happy hunting ground for British people. You know, yeah, Brits just seem to do well there. I don't know. I feel like you might be too young for this, but like there was an edition where Ian Field attacked on the first lap, and he just got away. And I was like, oh my god, like there are British people doing these races. Um,
Yeah,
and like in my memory, like it took them ages to find like the banner for him because they couldn't find the British flag because they're like, where's that graphic? We don't need this normally. But actually, no, it didn't take long at all. It took like a minute. But like in my memory, it kind of took ages. But it's like, yeah, seeing that was kind of huge. And yeah, you're right. It's a proper nice course. Um, Obviously, other than Koppenberg, what are your goals and kind of yeah, which races are you targeting this year for cross when we get to that season?
For cross,
Yeah.
I'd I'd love to obviously be selected for all the World Cups and European champs and world champs, but European champs is a big one because last time I did it, um, I got robbed really. I had
Oh.
a nasty accident and had to pull out just because someone dive bombed me.
Ah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, it happens though. Um, but yeah, so a bit of revenge for that one. Um,
Mm,
and then Koppenberg, another massive goal. Make it 4 out of 4 podiums. That'd be amazing.
yeah.
Um, and then after that, it's whatever comes up really. I want to do world champs, of course, and even if I went to world champs, obviously I'm gonna make sure I'm in the right place for it. But it's like gravel world champs. I'm not doing it for a result. It's just because it's the most amazing experience.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that'd be amazing to get picked for that, and I think I'll be in the right place as a second year under 23, and obviously starting my cross season in a couple of weeks' time.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah, fingers crossed. But yeah, if I if I was to put them in order, I'd say Koppenberg number one, European champs number two, and then national champs number three.
oh, nice.
Yeah,
It's a nice little order.
yeah,
And obviously, yeah, going back to Mountain Bike Eliminator very quickly, before we sort of plug socials and things like that. Um, I don't know, have you ever watched the um, highlights of Ireland before and got a
yes,
flavour for the course? Because it's insane. I don't know if you know about the time trial as well, um, where they start it in a shopping centre at the top of an escalator and you just launch yourself down. Like,
yeah,
why? Like, because I thought like the stairs at Montmartre, like that's a lot to do. Um, but then an
yeah,
escalator
yeah.
in a shop, like, I couldn't even imagine launching a bike down.
I think
Um,
the worst thing about that is just the fact that it's so narrow.
mm,
And I mean, at Ireland, once you're on the steps, it's just like riding down a bumpy hill, really. But when you're going over the edge, and then you've got to go on a flat bit and then go over the edge again, it kind of bucks you a little bit. But for an escalator, there's there's no flat sections to buck you.
that's
So
true.
it's just keeping your bars in and not clipping it, hopefully.
Yeah. I know, like, so actually, yeah, going into Eliminator, did you know any of the names that you were racing, or was it like, was everyone completely unknown to you?
A vast majority of them, I just, yeah, didn't really have a clue. Because obviously I've never raced that field before. It's a
Mm,
category up and, I've never done the race before. Um, so I knew the world champ, um, male and female, and I saw him warming up and I was like, God.
yeah,
But no, I just threw myself into it and tried to get the best result as possible.
yeah, and obviously, I still think it's creditable to get through the time trial because you had to beat. I think I calculated it's like you had to be better than six people. Um, I think three
Yeah,
didn't show, which that certainly helps.
yeah, it did.
But like, yeah, you still got to be better than others. Because we actually see my friend was the only one eliminated in the women's field, and it's
Oh,
like
you're
she was
joking.
half a second off as well. Um, and that's how small the margins can be. It's like less than a second, and that she didn't get to race again. That's it, done.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Short
and
trip.
obviously, yeah, and obviously for you, like had had the Belgian guy not crashed at the top of the those steps, like could you have been in contention? It's like, I mean,
Yeah.
they are
It's
great
the
riders, but
what?
equally,
Yeah. It's the what ifs though, isn't it? It's racing as well. You can't control it. And I didn't want to let them go first. They didn't want to let me go first. So it just happens, and there's no sour taste behind it either. Um,
yeah,
but no, I think I got 23rd in the end overall,
Hmm.
which pretty good for my first attempt to say I'm the youngest there as well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, um, but no, it was good fun. And talking about the time trial, I nearly did get eliminated because I had a good start, got round, and then the final jump. I was so knackered and fatigued, and my heart rate was so high that I nearly went over the bars.
Oh
Um,
gosh.
not badly, like, but my front wheel definitely hit the floor before my back wheel.
Oh no. Oops. Um, yeah, do you then stay around once you're eliminated? Did you like watch the others and see how they did it and go, oh, like that was a great line to take here and be really analytical, or do you just watch it and go and just be entertained?
I did that in practice before actually. I followed the world champ and the European champ round, and there was only one line for the whole course really. Down the steps, you just stay to the left, and then hug the inside on the exit, and then over the jump, you just tried to make it as flat as possible and squish it. But the rest of the course, it was just like a crit race really.
Yeah, and that's interesting actually that you did the jump so often and got a line for that because a lot of the racers tended to pick the B line and go round the jump. And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think the winner even did that. Like, I,
yeah, yeah. It
yeah.
it was it was about the same, probably like half a second in it. Um, and it was faster on the B line, definitely. But in the qualifying runs, in the time trials, there were people lining it up on the B line, so you couldn't really do it.
Oh, I
Um,
see. Yeah.
yeah, to start their qualifying time. Um, but yeah, it just in the race there was no difference really. Not in
Mm.
my race anyway. 2 laps and yeah, one of the guys tried the B line but didn't actually gain any places. Um, so yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, yeah. Last thing to cover then. Obviously, we kind of talked about your future ambitions and goals. It's like, how can people kind of follow you on social media and keep up with what you're doing and keep up to date, really?
Well, CX_Oli on Instagram and Facebook. And at the moment, I'm riding for Albion Cycling in the camo kit, which is it's the coolest kit out there, definitely. And at the weekend, I rode my Berrier Bravo. And yeah, it was brilliant. Couldn't have asked for a better bike for it, really. And
Nice.
yeah, yeah. And coming up, I've obviously got this training camp. Then there's a few rounds of the national series mountain bike, and after that
Mm.
it's just training and training through races. Yeah,
Oh, nice. Well, I wish you all the best for those, and hopefully we'll see you on some more XC races in the future.
yeah, yeah. Well.
There we